Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Map Making with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome. And welcome back to Duvo, the provisional name for my second ever map build. We're getting nearly finished now. We are getting nearly finished. There are a few little jobs we're going to do today, and then I'll talk to you about the upcoming episodes as well. But see this this nice gravel along the bottom here, this terrain conforming gravel. Well, it doesn't. Not in the actual game engine. Weird that, isn't it? I've got to delete it. Oh, it's actually hovering, almost like anti-gravity, hovering all over the place, and I can't be having that. I cannot be having that. As much as I thought it looked pretty, it doesn't work. It's got to go. I may go back and do something else in its place, but don't know. Also, you will be aware that we have this big divot in the water underneath. You know, where the ground just sinks away there. Well, it was originally done like that because the original asset that we used for the bridge needed the ground to be sunk away to get it down to the level we needed. Well, now we're using this one, bridge number 3, and that means that we can actually level off the terrain underneath to a more level. It's just going to look better. It's going to look better, especially when looking down on the bridge. And so we'll do this. I've raised the bridge right up so that it's not affected by any splashing from the water, and we can drop it back down and find its level a little bit later on. I'm just moving the edges off a little bit there as well. So yes, that's what we're doing there, raising the bridge right up so that we can level off the ground underneath and then come back and the bridge won't be deleted. Because those that watch the show religiously will know that I've had loads of trouble with that bridge. Too much trouble. There's a little ridge in here somewhere, a little bank somewhere. Hang on, where is it? I'll find it. There it is. Just need to level that out as well. We're getting to the point now that we are literally picking out the tiny little errors and faults and flaws. We're going to leave that to settle, okay? Is that right with you? Right, a lot of what we're going to be doing today will be playing with the sand and the sandbanks. And I've told you the underwater detailing was going to take a long time. And indeed it has. We've been tweaking and tweaking and tweaking some more. Now, I did say at the beginning of the episode that I was going to tell you a little bit about the upcoming episodes. And what I'm going to tell you is I don't know how many or even if and when. There will be. There's at least one more to come, definitely. I can't tell you when it's going to be. It might be tomorrow. It might be. I don't know. I really don't know. Truth be told, last time I sat down with this map, I was in the actual game engine itself, and I was doing testing. And I spent about 3 hours testing. That's not going to make for a very good show. I mean, I could tell you what I'm looking at and looking for, but that's not going to take 3 hours. So basically, when I'm testing, I'm just looking for the faults and the flaws and the errors. There was one that I'm going to be fixing later on today that surprised me. And I'm so glad I spotted it, because it would have been somewhat embarrassing had it slipped by. Of course it didn't. BonBon ain't going to get caught out that easily. And it's with regard to the tides, because we're going to be offering this as a tides mod map. You can play without it. Once again, I'm telling you again for the 1000th time, but there's going to be somebody watching this for the first time. This map you can play 2 ways. You can play with the tides mod or without tides mod. It'll work fine either way. I want it to work really well with the tides mod though. Now, you know the main intersection, the one that leads up to the causeway, the last big one before you hit the islands. Yeah, that one. Well, at its lowest point, well, we got there like a bit of an underpass going on there. That is very slightly below sea level at high tide. Now, if you're not playing with the tides, obviously the sea cannot reach there because yeah, I've got nicely terrained land, and water can't just flow over a hill to fill a gully, can it? It doesn't work that way. No. What we got though is the tides mod, which doesn't work in the way that a tide actually works, which basically drags water from one side of the world and dumps it on the other side. Okay, I'm oversimplifying, but you know what I mean. So what would happen with the tides in real life on this map would be, oh, by the way, I'm just dropping this down by a couple of meters, getting a little bit of green showing, so it's not quite deep enough, right? And we're going to be doing that in various locations, and may have to come back and do it some more. But you know, seriously, tides mod. So what would happen is a lot of water would be coming in from the side of the map and filling the map up with water, and then exiting the map when the tide goes out. Well, that's not how the tides mod works. How the tides mod works is literally raising the entire sea level by whatever notch it is, by whatever speed it needs to. So it will raise the entire sea level, and of course if you've got an area that is below sea level on mainland, well, the tides mod isn't looking to see if it's connected to the sea. It just goes, yep, that is now under the sea level. And so we had a problem. We had a little problem. And so the latter part of today's show, you'll see me doing something with that main intersection area. And what I'm actually doing there is raising the entire area up by a few meters. In the end, I raised it, I think it was about 4 meters more than it needed to be. And I figured on the side of safety. Just on the side of safety, just in case, you know, just in case I get it wrong. And then there's when I was raising the terrain, though, the roads stayed in exactly the same place. So I then had to raise all the roads up separately, and it's not quite as smooth as it was before. So I'm going to have to go back with the smoothing tool and smooth the terrain out a little bit at a later point. It's not a big job. It's really, really not a big job. Another thing that I've been doing in those 3 hours, as well as testing, was going through with the theme mixer and basically coming up with my theme and LUT combo and relight settings and all of that kazazz and kabazz and all that, you know what I mean. Yeah. This needs to be deeper, by the way. Thing with this, I did want it to remain a bit of a pull when the tide went out. Unfortunately, when the tide goes out, it wasn't deep enough, and so it would just disappear. When the tide comes in, the first thing to fill in would be that little pool. And how does the water get into it? Well, once again, it's because of the way the tides mod works, and so it fills up from the lowest areas first, not necessarily the most logical places first. Yeah, so that's what I've done there, and just adding more sand where it's where it's not at full depth here. It's like here, the not full depth areas will show slightly green and slightly fertile land peeping through, and I don't want that. I really don't want that. I want it to be, well, seabed, you know. So always tinkering with the depth of the water. Now, can we drop this down now? Oh, just before I kill the bridge, I was going to save the map. I was going to save the map, just in case I make a mistake and we kill the bridge. So now it's saved. It doesn't matter if we kill the bridge, it's fine. And now we just drop the whole lot slowly. You see the roads on the end, they've dropped away on their own, and that was very frustrating to me. Very, very frustrating to me. And if I carried on going down there, they were going to drop below sea level, and that could cause problems. So I'm going to have to bring them up individually themselves. Don't worry about the glitching there. We'll fix that at the end. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Fine detail tuning is not going to be my biggest concern. There we go. I'm definitely getting that problem. I can't have that. Cannot have that. So I'm just going to raise that up. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. So yes. So I've been into Theme Mixer. I have chosen my preferred theme, LUT combo. I'm not going to give too much away, but I will tell you that the LUT that worked best with the themes that I've gone with was Definitive Vision. So if you're a fan of the Definitive Vision LUT, then, well, you're going to be happy, because that's the one that's working. I was particularly pleased with the result from the cliffs. I've mixed a number of themes together, and the actual cliff textures and beach textures together really worked very nicely together indeed. In fact, I'm a little bit sad I don't have more cliffs. I've only really got one area of cliffs, but it's worked really, really nicely. As for the sand, you're probably going to be imagining, because what we're looking at here is Springwood, which is a perfectly fine theme, and it's going to be my recommended theme if you're going to play without mixing. Yeah, the sands that I've gone with, you'd kind of be expecting something along the lines of a Clara or a Seychelles theme, and I actually thought it was going to be one of these tropical themes, but I'm tinkering with it, and I don't feel that this is a tropical location. As I've said before, I feel that this is in Northern Europe somewhere, or whether that be Normandy or Denmark or Scandinavia, or even in the United Kingdom. I don't know. I'm going to leave that. It's completely at your discretion. The name is kind of like multi. The name is in English, but it's not one of those that will lead itself only to one language. For example, say Duveau, which has a bit of a ring of French about it. You go, well, that's got to be France, hasn't it? Well, the name I've chosen is fairly open for translation into pretty much any of the major languages of Europe. So yeah, it leaves the gate open for that. So yes, all I'm doing at the moment is we've got some green ridges here as well. I'm just tidying these up also. That's what I'm doing there. So yes, that's the plan. I've got the themes and LUTs all sorted. I've sorted out the daylight classics and the relights and the ultimate eye candies. All those settings. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. When the tide comes in, we're not going to do it now. Oh no. But what we're going to do is we're going to raise the entire area now by just a few notches on the low brush setting, low brush setting, and tap it away, just little taps across the entire area. I was trying to keep it even without keeping it super even, but of course, as I said, the roads don't raise with the terrain, and so I'm going to have to do a little bit of smoothing to bring everything level. But it'll be fine. It will be. I promise you, it'll be fine. Right. Yes. So, and here's me finding the high tide level, and I'm seeing how close we are to high tide there. See what I'm doing there? Hey, a little bit of brain thought. Now we've got a few other jobs to do, like on the mainland we've got a little bit of tidying up of the forests still to do, where it's quite clear. If you go and have a look, it is quite clear that I have copied and pasted the trees, and there's just a little bit of, it's just along the edges, especially up in the hills. That's the worst part of it. So I'm just going to go and do a little bit of tree deletion up there, and I think we are close after that to being done. I mean, I've got to go back and test some more, and test some more, and test a bit more. But then one last feature area, which I've said before, I reckon will take me an hour to an hour and a half to build. And yeah, the map is finished. Oh yes. Won't be releasing it immediately because I want to spend a bit of time making sure that I have got all the the one-click collection sorted correctly, loads of thumbnails and images to look at. I want to write a reasonable description. I'm not going to be writing a work of fiction this time, solely because I don't feel there is a background story to this map, whereas Merrickstowe there was a background story to the map. Bit of a slope going on here because obviously we raised the entire area up, so we're going to delete these roads and do some terraforming just so we get a nice smoother slope going on up here. So yes, I'm going to be doing a decent description with all the instructions as well. It's a map that you can play without the instructions, but if you want to get the full glory of it, the instructions will be handy. So I'm probably going to spend a few days, 2 or 3 days maybe, writing up the Steam Workshop page before I upload the map, and then it's yours. I give it to you for free. All these, oh yes, I've got some road glitching as well in and it's a bit more than I'd like, so you'd be expecting this this intersection to be tinkered with just a little bit. It's mostly on this intersection that I'm getting the glitching. Okay, all good. That's me done for today. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. Join me for map making whenever the next episode is. It will be at 6 o'clock in the evening, but I couldn't tell you what day. It may well be tomorrow. Anyway, that's me done. Have a great day and I'll see you very, very soon.